Hello and welcome to Raw Talks with Dr. Cami and Dr. Brandee. I'm so excited about today. I was just getting ready to ask Dr. Cami how her 40th birthday went, her 40th birthday party.
Yeah,
So,
yesterday. I
yeah,
turned
happy birthday
40.
yesterday.
Thank you.
I'm gonna text you all day, like every hour, and then I got busy. I'm like, damn it, text her every hour, an emoji or something. So,
No, it's good. I was getting text all day. I was laughing at the end of the day because it's just this ongoing joke now that I turned 40, I have no memory because as you know, my boys that are 1 and 2 are like they've been teething, like getting molars, and they've had fevers, and so I haven't really slept much in the last couple of weeks. And yesterday they were both back at school, back at their little Montessori program. And I get to school and I had forgotten their backpack and their lunches. And then at the end of the day, we were going to have a party at my mom's house and have like a big family thing. And I go to pick up my kids and I forgot the diaper bag because I'm so used to just bringing them to school where they have everything and then home. So I forgot their diaper bags. I had to borrow diapers or take diapers from their school. I forgot a bag of extra clothes for my husband because he was coming straight from work. So I was going to bring him like shorts and, not work clothes. And I was going to bring swim diapers and things like that because my mom has a hot tub that she just drains all the hot water out in the summer and just makes it like a regular pool kind of style. Forgot all that. I mean, I literally would have forgotten my head if it wasn't attached to my body kind of day. And so this ongoing joke that the moment I turn 40, there goes my memory.
how about the day you become a mom?
I know.
I feel like that's when everything hits because there's so much to do all
There
the
is so much.
time on top of everything else. So I think I started forgetting when I became a mom 25 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where
I
to think
think it
about that?
definitely adds a lot to the mix. But yeah, it was a good day. It was fun. I got some stuff done for work and hung out with some friends and got to be
Well,
with
good.
family. Hmm.
Well, I'm glad to hear. It's a really a big event to celebrate. And so will your 45 and your 50 and your 60. So you ready to
Yeah.
meet you? We're going to grow old together. We'll
Yeah.
fly
I
back and forth, but we'll get it done.
I keep I keep hearing Carl Jung in my head because he says life really doesn't begin till 40. Up until then, you're just doing research.
I think I'm still doing research, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Isn't it true? We're just researching. We're just a bunch of kids in a big body.
Hmm.
So you mentioned, all this stuff going on, like not being able to sleep, your kids having they're teething, so they have fevers, which makes it where you can't sleep. So what tools do you have in your belt to help when all that is happening at the same time?
Yeah. I'm curious to hear your input on all of this as well because you've got 8 kids, so you've done this significantly more than I have. But it's been interesting for me to find or hear my inner critic so loudly. It's been pretty strong. My failure kink has been like real strong the last few weeks because, I'm not able to work or really even be creative on the back office side because I'm at home. And so I feel like I'm failing at business and then I'm not sleeping. So I don't have as much patience. And so I feel like I'm failing as a mom. And then because I have children who don't feel good and they're on top of me and want to be held, I'm not getting a lot of work done around the house. And so I feel like I'm failing in that realm also. And so there's this struggle going on internally.
Well,
And, mhm,
you are failing, Dr. Cami.
I know. Well, it feels it feels like I can only give 10% in all the areas that I want to give 100 because I can't move. That's what it feels like. I physically can't move because there's children and I can't get anywhere. And so that's what my mindset and my mood has been for like a couple weeks now.
Well, there's a lot coming to my mind from, the amazing guides coming in. And so I hear a lot of these like quotes coming through. And so one quote I hear from Buddha is you're only failing if you're not 100% in the stillness of the moment. right? Because
Mm.
you can't do everything at once anyway. So you should be doing everything 100% all the time, right? But when you're thinking about being somewhere else, then you're not in the moment, and then they're
Mhm.
failing. But again, if we go back to Carl Jung, we're failing because we're trying to figure out how to not fail. Because you've
Yeah.
never been a mom of a 1, 2, or 7-year-old before. And you're, even though you've been a mom to a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old before, and they're still different kids. So their personalities, their characters, their purposes are all different. So you have to, people would ask me all the time, how do you do it? How do you raise 8 kids and work and have multiple jobs and do whatever? And I always said, one moment at a time, one child at a time. And I think I've done good giving all my children the best attention one-on-one that I possibly can. And I've done my best to clear up any trauma I might have caused them. But the only way to do that is to be accountable, to be transparent, and to know that we're not perfect. That sometimes you're going to be in the moment 100%, but only feeling like you're giving 10 because you're tired, and you should be giving 100% to being tired. Sleep,
Mhm.
right? But with children, you sacrifice part of your sleep to be that mom, right? So sometimes it's being 100% the moment, like Buddha said, of that stillness with your kids laying on you and enjoying that heartbeat, enjoying that moment, even if it's irritating, because before you blink, that's going to be gone. I mean, my youngest kids are 6 and 7, and I just eat it up. I just like, cuddle with me whenever you want. I don't care, because I know my 25-year-old doesn't cuddle with me. My 24-year-old, they don't cuddle. They give me quick hugs and a kiss and, you know, on the cheek or whatever. And we play games and we try to hang out. But I was thinking about this yesterday, like, it's crazy to think I have 4 adult kids. They're living their life. They don't really call and check in often. They're going to get their experience. And then I have 4 other kids at home, and 2 are teenagers, and they're kind of, doing their own thing too. And so I have to like set standards for attention. And then here's my 6 and 7-year-old who don't want to get off me. I'm good. I'm good because I know how fast it goes. And
Yeah.
yes, this is important. And that's why, you hear stories of mothers who give 100% of their time with their kids when they're present. And if their kids are playing, they then shift their time to 100% of whatever they're doing in the moment. Well, maybe 90-10, because 90% is you're focusing on building, another 10% you're making sure they're safe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and when you have to be flexible as a mom, and that's why you hear, oh, my mom was up till, midnight doing laundry every night because they didn't have time the rest of the day. So we sacrifice some of our own, sleeping and things that we enjoy because we asked to enjoy this right now, right? So if you're laying there and you're watching TV and your kids are playing, that might be when you give 100% to creating and not watching TV. Uh, and it depends on their age. 1 and 3 is super young, so they kind of need all your attention. And so does the 7-year-old.
Mhm.
That finding bliss in that, but I think I said this to you yesterday. It's okay to also accept you're tired. Be 100% exhausted. It's okay to accept that you're irritated in the moment. But these drives, these external drives that you have with your business and wanting to serve people is not going to go away, because your kids will be gone in 18 years. You're going to be 58, and your only goal right now, and this is just a thought, is to weave in your desire to serve and continue to build it so that when they become teenagers and they want to be with their friends, you have something to do.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be the opposite, where you're so successful in your business because you've ignored your kids, that your business will be successful, but you'll be like, I have nothing to do. I always tell myself, like, I'm okay just going home and just being with my kids and being present, playing games with them. And I've changed a lot of that, being in the stillness even more, because before you know it, my house is gonna be quiet. And I've been doing this for 25 years. It's gonna be weird by that time, 30, 40 years. It's gonna be weird to adjust to silence. So I'm weaving in the things I enjoy doing so I can still do them. What is the other tool that's, I heard that just from Buddha, but there's a couple of other quotes that dropped in.
While you were talking, there was a dragonfly hitting my window, which I thought was pretty beautiful. No, I love all of that. And I do try to practice a lot of that. I'm very car compartmentalizing.
Mhm.
Can't talk. Where when I'm at work, I'm at work, and when I'm at home, I'm at home. And people always ask, "Oh, how do you feel about, your oldest turning 7?" And it's like she's getting so tall. Like I actually feel pretty good about it because I've been there with her. Like
Yeah.
I've been present with her. Um, but it's hard when I don't have that time or this sleep to recover. You're in the muck of something. And so the tools that I did use and that I really love using is the leap, which is like recognizing that inner critic and that inner voice of like, and that frustration is like just listening to it consciously and objectively. And then like, oh, you're failing at all these things. And then empathizing and accepting and going, well, yeah, of course you feel like this. Of course you feel like, look at what's going on. You're not able to work. You're not getting anything, you're not getting anything done. And when your kids, like when they're really little, like you literally can't get off, you're like nap trapped or whatever. It's like, yeah, of course you feel like this. Like you're absolutely okay in feeling like that. I tell patients, I've actually just had 2 clients in the last couple today and yesterday is like, yeah, of course you feel like that. You have every right to feel so stressed out and to feel like this. Your life, you've got your trauma and all of these things are influencing the way you feel right now. And then when you get through the LEA, then you get to P, so the leap. And then the P part is the pairing and the partnering with it. And this is when you can start utilizing the tools like, yes, and this is what you can do with anybody, like actively listen to them, empathize, agree with them because they have their own story to tell and their own truth with it. And then you partner. You go, okay, how do we fix this? What do you
Yeah.
need? What do you need to feel better? And I say this to my kids all the time too when they're very upset, even the 2-year-old, even though he can't always answer. But then it's funny because then he's like, I need water, or I need my nook. And you're like, can you just say please? But it's like, what do you need to make this better? And yesterday was, I think, or not yesterday, the day before was a pinnacle of like, I'm just like at my limit. And I had to do all these errands and get all this stuff done and like my to-do list. And I had a list that I was like typing out and getting ready for Monday work. I was like, okay, this is all the back office stuff I'm going to do. And this is all the house stuff I have to do. And then Sunday night, my 2-year-old had a fever, so he couldn't go to school the next day. So I was like, and then we didn't sleep, all that stuff. And instead of my usual push through and get everything done for everybody else and all the other priorities that are external, I said, you know what? F it. I am not doing these things and I'm going to take a nap. So I actually took a nap with him and I clonked out so hard. I woke up after the first hour and was like, I can't believe my husband left for work and didn't say goodbye to me. It was like 2 in the afternoon because I didn't know where I was. And then I just stayed in bed and like in and out of sleep for another hour with him. And it was interesting for me to choose that because I have this internal thought that pops up that we've talked about where it's like, nobody cares. Nobody cares what I want. Nobody cares what I need. And I started laughing because we talk about it being a mirror, but do I care what I want and need? Because when was last time I said, I am not going to go drive an hour to Costco. I'm going to stay home and take a nap. Like and that's not something that I usually do. And so it was very insightful for me to actually get that experience of going, oh, maybe I'm the one that doesn't care about what I need right now or in general, and to make a different choice, you know?
Yeah. Well, another thing you'll learn as a parent to add to that is you'll get to learn what tired you can fight through and what tired you can't.
Mm,
Because I can't say I'm not tired a lot, because I am. I'm tired. But there are certain things that I can fight through when I'm tired. Like I can play with my kids when I'm tired. I can clean the house when I'm tired. I can do all those when I'm at that point of exhaustion, right? But the some of the tires I cannot do is I cannot write my books when I'm tired. I cannot do my homework when I'm tired. I cannot do business on the back end when I'm that tired. So you're gonna have to just start paying attention to what tired you are and what level you are. And sometimes you have to push. It was last week I needed to republish my book, but I needed at least an hour to do it. It was on a Sunday. I try not to do work on a Sunday because it's like my family day, right? I have family days every day, but this is a day where like I really just really play hard. We go hiking, we go swimming, we play games, just like all day, just family time. And my kids were all doing their own thing. And I was like, I need a nap. And I got, no, get your book done. So then I went and sat down. As soon as I started doing it, I was no longer tired, you
Mm.
know. And so, but I know when I know my tires enough to know which ones I can fight through and when, and which ones I can't. So that might be a tire that you had yesterday where it was the tire of I can't fight through this. I'm finally gonna ask myself what I need. But the only reason I know that, Dr. Cami, is because I asked myself, what do I need? Can I fight through this? Because as a mom, as a parent, you really do have to look at, well, what would I do if I didn't have to do mommy or parenting stuff? Sometimes you would go take a nap or write a book or do something. Um, but then sometimes you go, okay, but I need to do this for my kids because my kids have these needs because we're responsible for their needs at this time, right? And you're doing a great job teaching your kids how to express their own needs because a lot of kids don't know that. So, as adults have to figure out how to express our own damn needs because we weren't taught how to do it.
Like
So
a lot of adults don't know that.
yeah, that's what I mean. So you're doing a great job as a mom teaching your children how to say, I need water, or I need alone time, or I need, and that's something I do with my kids. We have a board on the wall that says what you need. I have it both in like teenage language and I have it in younger language with pictures and words. So follow your own advice with your kids. What do I need? Is this a tired I can fight through and go to Costco and do all the running around? Or is this a tired where I just am gonna go sleep with my kiddo and do nap time? Which you did yesterday. So just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a constant challenge. And I think I always say, these tools that we have, they're easy to learn, but they're really easy to forget. We
Mm-hmm.
don't even as a coach, even somebody that is it, I mean, I get through it faster. It's like, oh yeah, I got this. But they're so easy to forget. Like you just get stuck sometimes in the chaos and in the chaos of the internal.
I
And
say, the
yeah.
more you observe yourself, the easier that becomes, and the more you practice, it creates that neural pathway in your brain. So of course, it's
Mhm.
hard. I tell people like post it on a wall or that thing on the wall. What I have is like a board that says, "I'm a goddess. I'm a goddess or a god. Did I show up for myself today? Did I take a shower? Did I brush my teeth? Did I make my bed?" And then I say, what do I need? So I have the anger pyramid, and then under the anger pyramid, it has like all the reasons you're angry, so they can use I feel statements. And then the pictures of I want mommy time or daddy time or alone time. And my 6-year-old yesterday, he was like, him and my 7-year-old were having a conversation. It was the cutest thing. My 6-year-old says to my 7-year-old, listen, Kiala, I was playing the computer because I needed alone time. I needed me time. So I was like, I've done it right. But those pictures are also there to remind me, did I do those things?
Mm.
Because I have to mirror what they need and teach them. So it's right there to help not just me or not just my children, but also myself and everyone in the home, right? And they still do it. It's been on the wall for 6 years. And every once in a while, my kids will grab a stool, stand on it, and say, I need blank, and point to the picture, right? But they got it down mostly.
Did you make that or did you
I made
find
it.
it? Oh, you did? Well, girl, you need to put that on a PDF and put it on your site so we can all get a
Right.
copy of it.
I mean, I just made it out of pictures. It's not all pretty. I could do. Maybe I'll go create a Canva and put it up there.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, any way that you remember, right? If that's an alarm going off in your phone, I like post-it notes too. I take the bathroom crayons and I write on the mirrors of the bathroom sometimes, or like put a post-it up like, is this true? I like
Yeah.
that one. Is this true? Like no one cares about what I want. Is this true? No.
We're
Okay,
bad.
what's the opposite of that? I don't care what I want, you know? And
Yeah.
that is actually is not necessarily true either, but it's more of a truth than nobody does. And how
Right.
can I show people that what I want or tell people what I want when I can't even I'm not aware that I'm not expressing it to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some deep homework. And I also find, so do you ever find that when you write it on the thing, at some point you start ignoring it?
Yeah.
Because I set alarms on my phone, I send myself emails, and I have to either reset the alarm as soon as I'm realizing I'm no longer paying attention to it, or maybe change the color of the crayon or the sticky note on the mirror.
Yeah,
Or
we
put
have
it
too
in
much
display.
sensories coming in, too much information. Your brain's like, that's not important anymore. It's kind of like if you walk into someone's house who has cats, but they're not really cleaning them up very much, and you're like, oh my God. And then you're in there for a while and you're like, oh, I don't even notice it. Because they don't notice it either, because they're just, it's not important anymore. It's not information that needs to be prioritized. So changing up the location, um, yeah, it's a challenge to it's hard to forget. It's such a challenge, but it's so easy. It's easy to remember, it's easy to forget. But when you it doesn't matter that it's hard to or that it's easy to forget because when you're in the yuck and you're trying to get out, then you're like, "Oh yeah, I have those tools."
That's right, I have these toolboxes that I've been building over these years. We just need a reminder, pause, check my toolbox before I go into
Mhm,
this slump. I could do tapping, I can do post-its, is this true? Do the
yeah,
leap thing, do the ABCD thing. There's so many different things. I've been like reading all these books. I have a spiritual book club. Um,
mm,
and we read a book and we dive deep into conversation. So I've been trying to take like one phrase or sentence to make questions as a tool to expand my way of thinking or my consciousness in situations like you, is it true, is, oh, in this situation, should I just let them, from the let them theory, should I just let them? It's a really good book if you haven't wrote it, if you haven't read it, and you might not have wrote it.
I haven't read that one yet, no.
Yeah, and then the illusion of the Messiah, the phrase I have is the only to expand your consciousness, you have to understand your selfishness.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So
You were
good, like, oh, can I be selfish? So what phrase would we give our audience today from this toolbox? Like, is there a phrase, a takeaway they can remember?
hmm, so many. My brain's just I don't know. I guess like the ones that I'm just using right now is I like the is it true? And then, what's the opposite of that? Because we're always telling ourselves some kind of a story.
Yeah. And I
Is it?
like, am I in my stillness right now?
Yeah, I like that.
We have all our
Mhm.
minds, so I like both of them. Is this
Yeah, I
true?
like oh, mhm.
And am I in my stillness? That's what the takeaway is.
Yeah. And the thing about tools is they're so subjective and they're based off of your curiosities and your passion and the piece that's always seems to be missing in most people's education is the where to put those tools and
Yeah,
recognizing where you are in the flow of everything. Are you in the inspiration part in the phase of collecting your tools and education and research? Are you in the output phase where you're doing and acting, or are you in the friction phase where nothing is working? Oh yeah, I've got all this other stuff to implement. Or are you in the surrender
yeah,
phase? So that's the objective piece that everybody has to experience and understand, but then the tools that you put in and where,
yeah.
those get to be based off of what excites you.
Yeah, maybe we can dive into these tools more in our next conversation. I'm excited to see what phrase we can use as a tool. Yeah. So we
Yeah,
appreciate you guys. Go ahead.
mhm. I was gonna say, once you understand all that, then you would realize you're always in flow. Where am I in flow? You know?
Yeah. And where am I? Where am I not? Oh, so funny. Anyways, I'm going to stop myself before going to a different set of conversations. So thank you guys for joining us today. If you got something from this podcast that is helpful to you or can help someone else, please subscribe and like and share. We really appreciate you. Leave a comment on the topic you would like us to discuss, and we'd be happy to discuss it. You can even flop open a book like Dr. Cami did last time, put your finger on something and make that one of our topics. So we appreciate you guys, and we look forward to our next podcast. Have a good day.